All right, all right, all right. What a day, what a day, what a day.
Yeah, yeah.
Hello, 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 everyone. Hello,
Hey y'all.
everyone.
I'm still trying to copy this thing, Lord Jesus. Help me. I'm
That's all
trying to
right.
share. And my
Well,
computer low.
that's all right. Now I'm glad to have people joining us. Joining us. Hey there, Pam. I'm glad to have people joining us
Yes,
today. I'm
yes.
excited. Welcome to the Walk In Heavy show where there are no titles, no positions, no religion, and no shade. Just real feelings and real talk. Thank you
Yeah, yeah,
for
yeah, yeah.
joining us today. Hope you got your walking shoes ready because we are going to be talking about today when serving
So,
sucks.
sucks.
Hey
Hey
there,
Pam.
Monica,
Yeah, hey Simone. Michelle. Hey
Michelle,
Sam.
the
Hey,
radiant.
Radius. Yeah, yeah.
Woo! When serving sucks. I don't know about you, but I had a couple people reach out to me and go, "When? What time? How can I be there?
Right.
How can we show up? How can we be present?" People
Mhm.
are ready to have this
This
conversation. Hey,
conversation.
Renee,
Listen.
this conversation
Hey
about
Robert. Y'all coming in. Come on now.
come on
Come
in,
and
come
join us.
through.
Yes. Yes.
Having that conversation about when serving sucks, right?
Yes.
But before we do that, let us introduce ourselves. This is the Walking Heavy Show with Sue and Renee. And Sue, how are you doing today? Say hey to the people.
Hey people. I am well. I'm doing well. It's a beautiful day out. I haven't gotten a chance to go outside, but it's hot outside.
I heard.
So
I got my
I'm
little dap. I got my dap tissue ready.
listen. I was in a meeting earlier and just uh the sweat just started pouring down, and I don't know if it was a hot flash or it was just hot outside. Um, but yeah, but I'm good.
Well, it could be the hot flash. The hot flash. So, so I just want to say that before we start talking about this, and do me a favor, you might have me up a little high in here because I can actually hear me when I'm talking to you. So you
All
may
right.
want to just turn me down just a little bit.
How's
But
that?
um,
Is that better?
I still hear me a little bit, but we're gonna work around it. Um, I just I just felt like it was necessary to have this conversation. So, like I said, before we do that, tell me how you doing. Check in with me. What's going on?
We talking to the people?
No, I'm talking to you. How are
I
you
just
this
checked
week?
in. I'm fine. I'm fine this week. Business is going well. So
Okay,
I'm really
Kara.
happy about that. Listen, Cara Solutions, I'm doing a shameless plug right now.
Okay. Do your plug.
um, but yeah, Cara's doing well, and I I don't know. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I cannot complain at all. I cannot complain at all, except for allergies, because
Mm-hmm.
it is still allergy season. So allergies been kind of kicking my butt, and I might sound a little nasally. My face is a little puffy. Uh, but other than that, I'm well. But I'm sorry because before we get into anything else, before Renee even says how Renee's week has been, because we do want to hear about that. Can we get into Renee's eyelashes? Can we get
Ah,
into the eyelashes? This
hold on. Let
thing
me tell
came
you about the
on,
eyelashes, right?
honey.
so,
It made me go change my clothes and put lipstick on because like you, child,
so
no,
let's
no.
so let's hold a real thought here, like real talk. And hey to everyone that came in. Hey Jeanette. Hey
Yes, hey y'all.
Shirley. You know, so every week I would come in here and you would be looking like you should be on the cover of someone's Essence, right? Or a jet or something. And I was really in a low vibration today. Like I've been really sad and like depressed all day. I just don't. And here's the thing. And this is definitely a conversation we're going to have. Somebody said every time I blink, they feel a breeze. Robert, I'm gonna punch you. So I don't know why, and we're going to talk about this before the month is over because it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Yes,
like, I really want to have this conversation because there's nothing wrong. Yeah, I was laid off, but I'm okay.
Right.
Like, food, I'm okay. Friends, family, support, I'm okay. God, I'm okay. Like, let me change that. I'm good. Not even okay. So I can't figure out for the life of me how I ended up in this depressed mode. But this last weekend I had a show for the Tell Showcase. So I decided, like I said, it was like 50, 60 people on this call. I had to perform. So I said, let me do it for the lashes, right? And I suck at the whole glue and putting on lashes. And last time we talked, I told you I was bald from peeling off my individual done in the salon eyelashes. So I got these magnetic lashes, guys. Listen, this is Amazon. Like, no, wrong side. No joke. So these are magnetic lashes. There is magnetic something in the liner, right? And you just put the liner on. You gotta be good with it though, because go way wrong if you get it all in your eye stuff. And then once it dries, it becomes magnetic in a sense. And there are lashes. I feel like I'm doing a commercial. Then we're gonna start talking about when there are lashes in here that have magnets on them. And when you get it in there just right, you just get the little tweezer piece out and put it up on there and line it up properly. Boom, magnetic lashes. Now, let me tell you why I ain't going outside in them, though.
Because it's hot?
A is hot, and they waterproof, though. They waterproof. A is hot.
Okay.
But, I'm not fully a girl, right? So I don't want it to rain or something, and I wipe my face and pull off a lash. Or it's not as sticky as it needs to be, and then all of a sudden I start looking like Tammy Faye and start falling off and doing like this. So these are in-house. Oh, Betty Boop. These are in-house. I think I need to look cute for this show until I can get back to my shop in Manhattan. Lashes. That's what these are.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I need to find that. I need to. I don't know. I'm allergic to lashes, but not lashes. The glue or whatever.
Yeah. See, this isn't the glue.
Depending on
like
the
eyeliner. Yeah. This is like magnetic eyeliner or something.
But some of y'all might have heard the story or saw my Facebook post a few weeks back about when I was cleaning out the. I was fixing my hats, and apparently the lash that I wore, one of the lashes that I wore for my birthday last year, ended up in the box. So as I'm pulling things out, here comes this black leggy looking thing that flies out and lands on the shelf. And my first instinct was to just fling myself down the steps in order to get out the house, because I don't do bugs. I don't do city bugs, country bugs, foreign or domestic bugs, right? Intergalactic bugs. I don't do bugs. So, and if you know me, I will cross the street. I will leave the house if there's a bug.
I'm with you. I have shut doors and waited for people to get home 7 hours later. I have no idea where that bug is at that moment. But
I've done that and thrown the key out the window.
I'm like the Lion King. It can have everything that I have.
Yes, Daniel. I thought it was a bug. I was threw myself down these steps. I hurt myself, Jesus.
I'm telling you now. No. So I put them back in the case, but these they work. So I'm repping magnetic lashes in the house now. Don't wear them outside and say that I told you that, because I don't want you to get to work and you done got a little sweaty on the A train or something, and now you like this with one lash, not being a part of that. So it has been an interesting week, and we always open up, take time to check in. That allows us to also give time for people to come in, which is great. And for anyone who says, I don't have Facebook Live, let your friends know, because please share this. If your friends don't have Facebook, then let them know that on YouTube, it's streaming live from the Rainier Amen page. It's streaming live from the Rainier Amen page. So today, my friends, today, we are having a real conversation.
Yeah.
We are having a real honest conversation to where we can really share about when serving sucks.
Mm-hmm.
When it sucks. There was a post, and I'm going to go get it now, so everyone that not familiar with it, they will know. There was a post that said, you think you're humble. Wait until God instructs you to serve someone who has hurt you, bless someone who has betrayed you, and minister to the very people who have salted your name. Are you humble enough? Let me read that again. Let me read that again for the people in the back.
Read, Rita.
You think you're humble. Wait until God instructs you to serve someone who has hurt you, bless someone who has betrayed you, and minister to the very people who have salted your name. Are you humble enough?
No.
That's a no, huh? No.
Daniel said no. Daniel Lever. He was like, nah. Mm-mm.
Oh, yes. He said no with the sneakers.
Oh, we got a question already. Child, okay, Robert, we even get into it yet. Yes, come on with this.
So,
yes, this is
Robert
good.
wants to know, when you say sucks, does it mean because the situation itself sucks? Or does it suck because of the stuff it brings up from deep inside of you? Does it suck because your ego is standing in the front line? Well, Robert, that's why we're here.
That's why we're here. We're going to talk.
Because we want to talk about when it sucks and why it sucks. Dr. PA said no. Neither am I.
Hi, Dr. PA. Payee. I said PA.
No.
Dr. Payee. First of all, I apologize because I'm following Renee talking about PA.
I apologize.
Hi, Dr. Payee.
Wait. So, Robert, no. You don't have to say my bad, because that's the point. Like, which side does it come from? Does it really suck? What does it mean?
Right.
To have to do that. Daniel said, let's unpack the sucks.
Yeah, let's unpack it. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, I am to a degree. I feel like, because I'm expected, like, people have this thing, and I'm gonna be clear and honest about it when I say this. People have this thing about me. I am known in spaces, even on my job and stuff like that. And mind you, we're not just talking about church, because when people think of service, they think of church. We're talking about job.
Yeah.
We're talking about relationships.
Yeah.
And I hear somebody, I don't serve my mate. Well, that's a different conversation.
That's
but
a whole
we're talking
show.
we're talking about places you show up when you have to do something for someone.
Right.
You have to be present for someone. You have to do whatever. And that includes church. I'm in certain atmospheres, especially at jobs, I always find I'm the diplomatic one. People come to me to mediate, to figure out how to say things. And I still hear the feedback a little bit, so I want to make sure it's not me. They have this thing like Rainier will get over it, or Lakia will handle it, or whatever. And so there's a part of me that feels expected to push past when I'm offended. I could be pissed. I'm talking about magnetic eyelash fall off pissed. And I still would be like, hi, how are you? Okay, and it's not phony. It's just that I recognize in that moment what I feel is not as important as what has to get done. But the
Yes.
reason why I said to a point, because once you hit something with me, then all bets are off. Like once I recognize that you recognize that I am going above and beyond to be diplomatic and to move in purpose and not in pain, and you still keep doing what you're doing, then at that point, then I am a totally different person. I'm North Philly, Ninth and Diamond person. That's who I become. And the first thing I will say to you is, can we have a conversation? Oh, because we having a conversation. Because I need to figure out what your issue is with me. We need to talk about that. Maybe I offended you because I've been known to offend people. Maybe it might have been a night I was, feeling nice and I might have said something to you. So I need to know what you're upset with me for. But if you keep trying to tell me you don't have an issue, but you keep treating me like there's an issue, all bets are off. All bets are off. I'm going to still show up if I have to. Right. If I'm obligated or contracted to do what I have to do in a certain kind of way, I'm going to still do what I got to do. But no, I'm no longer humble. My faith, I got faith ministry, like, bam, you going to know. And every time you walk past me, you're going to stumble because you walking wrong by me. I just felt like a Color Purple moment.
Until you do. Until you do right by me. Everything. Yeah, I do think, and I know we're going to get into our like little points and stuff to help inform our conversation. But I do think that because of who you are. So, of course, my lived experience, my current experience right now, I'm speaking from, as a leader, and as a leader in the church, and as a leader in ministry, as a leader in the community. Mm-hmm. Because people know that you can't, because it will have an adverse effect on you. They're going to push the button and they're going to feel like they can do anything they want to do because you can't. Now, what sucks for them is that
see,
is that
Robert Okay.
And so there's only certain things. It's only so long, right? Or so many things that you can do to me before you get Yad or you get Brooklyn. Right? Gotcha. You could get Yad or you could get Brooklyn. Both of those, and they are all a part of me, and me as Sue, me as Pastor Sue, me as Reverend, me as the leader Sue. All of that is a part of me. So you will get all of my identities that day, right? And I think it's okay to, and we might even touch on this later, but it is okay to get to a point where you say, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to do this. Mm-hmm. Right? It is absolutely okay. A lot of, when we think about families, sometimes we feel like we're obligated to families. We might have toxic, be in a toxic situation with our families. And because we might be the eldest, or because we might be the one that made it. Right? That got the degree, that we might be the accomplished one. We might be the one with money. Now we're all of a sudden we are obligated, right, to deal with whatever. No, I'm not obligated to deal with you dishing out. Boo. I'm not obligated to do that. And so so that's one of the things that came up for me.
But now, spiritually, we're told, and let's be real, spiritually, we are told that there are three things we're told, and I've heard all three of these.
Right.
And they apply to, again, all areas of our life, relationship, job, whatever. We're told as that we should turn the other cheek, right?
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that is told is don't let them have that much power.
Yes.
And the final thing that we're told is you're bigger than that. Those are the three things that you always hear when you're about to cut somebody out and your friends
Yes.
have pulled you to the side or took you out of the office or took you out of the sanctuary, because I've seen some beatdowns almost happen in the sanctuary. And they look at you and they say, don't give them all your power. Don't let them have your power.
Jesus, help me.
And I be thinking to myself, I ain't letting them have my power, but they about to get some power. Like, it's about to be Holy Ghost sanctified and filled up in here with me dragging you all across the pulpit. If Renee said it on point, another thing they say is it's not worth it.
Right.
It's not worth it.
That's something else that was said. It's not worth it. Yeah. That they tell us. Right. So when do we get to own our feelings? When do we get to own that?
Right. As people who are in positions of service, when do we get to allow ourselves the space to say, come here. Let me talk to you for a minute. When do I get to holy step to you?
Yeah.
Now, that doesn't mean I got to throw hands, because see, in the office, I'm telling you, one day it was almost me and one of my coworkers in my office. And I had been taking it. I'm going to tell you, I had even taken it working from home. And one day she called me and I had some situations with my family. I was having some situations in my life, and she went in on me a certain kind of way with her condescending talk. And before I do it, I started responding and my voice started getting higher and louder. And the next thing I know, I was bringing bass from every black part of me. And she was like, oh my gosh, please calm down. You don't have to yell, please come. And I said, this is what I've been trying to avoid. Because for weeks I would say to her, what's going on? What's the problem? And I think it stemmed from one day we got into a whole recycle disagreement in the at the job, and she wanted everyone to wash their everything before they put it in the trash, even stuff that was supposed to go in the trash. And so that created this whole office war that I didn't even have nothing to do with. I didn't even say anything. I was at my desk like toodaloo. But as soon as something happened, she was on me. So that day, I let her have it. And see, that's what happens. We don't say what we need to say, and then we explode. We explode. Daniel said, I've done it before. However, it was with someone I cared about, a chosen family member. I let it roll off my back because I noticed it was a pattern because of how he's been treated by others. Thankfully, because of my knowledge of being in the field as a provider, I understood that he was projecting onto me to push me away. Still, with all that in the right time space, be mindful about how much you go off on me, someone who got your back. I am done trying to understand other people's trauma. I am. Sometimes we walking heavy and I'm walking real. Here's why I'm at.
Come on.
Sometimes I don't care. I got my own trauma. So if you react to me based on your trauma, you have no idea what is triggering for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
what? So if you want me to understand you, if you want me to take into consideration what you've been through, this is me being real. Why can't you take into consideration what I've been through? Because just like I know
Mm.
what you've been through, there's a
Yeah.
possibility. And I mean, this is different in a job to a client. But Daniel said this is a chosen family member. So that means they know you. If you chose them as your family, Sue, I chose you as my sibling, you know
Hmm.
me. You know
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
my buttons.
Yep.
You know how it shows up in the world. So whether you're my
Yeah.
teacher, my pastor, my spouse, my boss, no, let's take
Yeah.
the boss out of it. But chosen family member, you know.
You know. Yep.
So now I feel like you're trying to kill me.
Ah, Jesus. Come
You
on.
trying to hurt me. You trying to take me down.
Mm. Mm.
And sometimes being the bigger person makes you feel like the lesser person
Yes.
because they get to tell the story. They get to tell the story the way they want to tell the story. And then what?
Hmm.
I'm still over here like, it's all right. And
And
I
you
do
dying on the
believe,
inside.
right. I do believe the truth tells on itself. I always believe
Yes.
the truth tells on itself. So sometimes I'm not going to give it that much attention. But
Hmm.
when we're talking about what did that say? Me having to serve you, and I even added serve alongside of you. And I
Right.
know
Right.
you salted my name. Oh, I'm a
Right.
serve. I'm a serve, but we still ain't cool.
But the thing is, and this, yeah. And I don't know if we're gonna bring up our points, but just to that part right there, right?
I don't know. We're gonna do the
I'm a
points.
serve, but we not gonna, because it ain't about you, right? And so, it's not about the other person. And sometimes that's where you got to take it. Like, you know, I'm doing this because this is not about you. What
Right.
I've been called to do, I'm not, it's not about you. And if I allow myself to make it about you, I will not show up in the ways that I am supposed to show up. I will not do the things I'm supposed to do if I make it about you, if I make it about the other person.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
Jesus. Hey y'all.
And the people are talking and they're saying
Yes,
it.
come
They're
on, come
talking
on.
about how this feels. Like I
Yeah.
don't want to dismiss that it does become shifting. And all the things I
Mhm.
pointed out, you shouldn't let nobody have that kind of power over you. And all of this
Right.
other stuff, that stuff is real.
Yeah.
But see, we've gotten so used to using the word but that we think that two things can't be real at the same
At
time.
the okay,
Two things can be real at the same time.
Ooh, yes.
It could mean that I'm giving you too much power. It could mean that it's not worth it. It could mean that I deserve better than to react on you. But at the same time, and
Both and.
I should still say something. I should
Yeah.
still be able to have the space to own it.
Right.
And
Yes.
we're going to go over our points, but I want to bring this up. Iradian said, I agree that people do project. Where then are we responsible? In other words, we attract people and experiences and are the common denominator in everything.
Hmm.
So then what's the lesson? What's the lesson? And I do agree with that. I do agree with that. I do agree that sometimes when we are people that have to get a certain type of lesson, we keep running into the same people. And sometimes because we are used to certain things happening, we do open up space for things to happen. If we are trying to learn how to be more vocal in our lives, there is no mistake that you will get a situation that will cause you to have to be more vocal in your life.
Yes.
So I do believe that there is responsibility in how we in what we attract and how we respond to what we attract.
Mm-hmm.
Because in some cases, when you have a situation that you're expected to act out and blow up and pop off, oh, I ain't blowing up and popping off.
Right, right.
Because you won't get to tell the story that I told y'all. You told them what? I was going to knock you upside your head, and then I did. But you didn't tell them all the backdoor stuff that you were doing. So
I don't never tell the backdoor stuff.
Never.
Never.
So today we're going to 5:30. Last week we almost got killed for cutting that show at 45 minutes, right? We almost got killed for shutting the show at 45 minutes. But I want to talk about the tips.
Yeah.
We want to give, because we don't just want to make this about a gripe. We want to make this about encouraging what can you do when you find yourself serving in a situation that sucks, or you are giving up to people or places that have not been kind to you.
Oh, Jesus.
So the first tip that we have, look at us.
We got tips and everything, y'all. Come on.
Remember your intention.
Remember your intention. Why are you doing what you're doing? Why did you start to do what you were doing in the first place? Right? And sometimes that is the thing that helps us in those times when we really want to slap the taste out of somebody's mouth. When we really just want to get Peter, because we all, listen, we all have we all have a Peter. We want to get Peter. We want to cut somebody. We want to slice somebody up, whether it's with a knife or with our words, right? Remember what is our intention?
Right. Don't get kicked out of class if you know you need that class to graduate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, be clear about cutting off your nose to spite your face. Like,
right.
Don't lose your job if you know that you have no other way of making money. You're not a hustler. You're not going to get out here. And when I'm talking about hustle, I'm talking about grind. I ain't talking about nothing illegal. But you're not going to get out here and, that's not your cause. That's not your thing.
Right.
And you got kids to feed, or you got, $2,000 a month rent to pay. Because skipping a month of a $2,000 rent looks different.
Right. Right.
So I'm saying, don't let anyone take away something that's going to create greater grief for you. Because sometimes that's the intention.
Yeah, sometimes that's the intention. Yeah. Yeah. It's not to say that you don't speak up, that you don't educate the other person. It's
right.
That's not what it's saying, but to sometimes we got to eat stuff. I'm just gonna say stuff. Sometimes we got to eat ish, right? For a minute. So like I'm yeah, okay. So I might have to deal with this for a minute because of the situation that I'm currently in. But you best believe that I'm working some things out, that I'm making moves, to remove myself from this situation. So I'm gonna eat this. And you might think you have the upper hand right now, and you might think that that you're really taking something from me. But while it looks on the surface that you might be winning, I'm making moves behind the scenes, right? To make my situation better, to leave this, because that's a practice in my self-care. So before I do something I'm really gonna regret, and that's going to hurt me in such a way that it's gonna take a minute for me to come back from it. Yeah. So you got that, you got it. But you only got it for a little while.
And Pastor Denman said, if you don't remember why,
yes,
it will cost you the bottom line. If you don't remember why, it will cost you the bottom line. And it's the truth.
Yes.
And see, let's go back to that statement about not giving someone your power, right?
Mm-hmm.
The other part I always think of when I hear that It's power to do what?
Mm.
Because sometimes when I figure out what is trying to happen here, then I recognize what their reason is. So if I recognize that you're intimidated by me in some form or fashion, and I don't even think that it's that, like, my brain doesn't even register. If I'm serving you or serving alongside of you, and when I use the word serving, please know I mean that as an empowered relinquishment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna give a shout out to Jeanette on that, because we were talking about something like that.
Yeah.
Empowered relinquishment came up for me the other day. Like, sometimes people think that because I'm in service to you, or I'm giving to you, or I'm showing up for you, that it makes me less than, that I am a submissive, that I am a slave. No, I am empowered in what I'm giving up to you, because I'm doing it from a place of love. I'm doing it from a place of wanting to see you be great.
Yeah. Jeez. Oh, gosh, it's so good, Lord. Mm. Yes.
But if you're going to try to make this something else, and we're going to get ready to go on to part number 2, tip number 2, then I have to go back to this place of remembering my why.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's my why. In the case of my coworker, I had to remember, but then this was before I got laid off, of course. My job is not my career. Pink
Mm-hmm.
Love Wellness is my career. But in the meantime, while I'm rebuilding, I want, not need, I want this job to finance everything else that I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
But see, when jobs and places and people and things think you need something from it,
Come on.
then I'm now required to accept whatever it is that you want to give me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's sad, because I need.
Mm.
And now you're going to use that to your
Yes.
advantage.
Yes. Yes.
Which leads us to tip number 2. Yep, wrong tip.
It needed repeating.
Needed repeating. Hallelujah.
Yes.
It's them, not you. Now, in what context though? Because we still want to own. We don't.
Mm-hmm.
We want to make sure that we don't put everything out there.
Right.
Because sometimes how people treat us, they're treating us like they're treating us because we have not stopped them from how they were treating us.
Right. Right. We haven't trained them. We haven't taught them. You haven't educated them on how to treat us.
Right. Exactly. So when you're talking about it's them, not you. I got, people here, they laughing in the background. I got my own gallery. It's them, not you. So let's talk about that. What do you mean? It's them, not you.
Okay. So how people treat us is not because of us. So okay. So we are responsible for how we allow people to show up with it. That is our responsibility, right? Whether we choose to accept it, whether we choose to deal with it, that is our responsibility. What does not belong to us is why they treat us how they treat us. That doesn't belong to us. It's really about them. So I don't I often say this when it comes to bullies. When it comes to people that hurt other people, right? There is something that is broken. There is something that is going on. This is just and this is not for anybody to agree with. I mean, this is just my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
I don't believe that anyone intentionally wakes up to say, you know what, I'm going to abuse someone today. I'm going to hurt someone today. I don't believe that. And it's okay, because that's just my belief. But there is something that has happened. There is something that is broken on the inside of them that causes them to show. You are not responsible for what is broken in somebody else. And so that's what, when I say, don't do that, Renee. So when I say it's them, it's not, you are not responsible for what is broken, for the work that the other person didn't do, for the inner work that that other person did not do. You're not responsible for that. So yes, it is them and it's not you.
I just felt like an organ was playing behind you just now. I just in a E flat or something. I saw Josh on here. Maybe he can tell me if that's the right key. But I heard that organ behind you. You're hitting it on the head. We're not responsible.
Right.
And that's what I was saying earlier.
Yeah.
Like, how do we get to and we're joking and we're having some humor in this, but I have been in a place of service while hurting.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you something. That is, I don't know if it makes you humble, like we were saying in the beginning, but it's painful.
It is.
It is painful, and that's what brings me, because I'm gonna bring number 3 in, and we can talk about that. Purging emotions in a healthy way. Like I used to come home and cry for hours. I used to come home and cry for hours and periodic days. So I might cry on Sunday night and then cry on Tuesday and then cry on Thursday and then cry leading up to the next time I got to get ready to do that thing. I had nowhere to put my emotions because I didn't know how to trust somebody. Like, I do spiritual care. So I'm always talking to leaders and jobs and in churches. And I have mentees that I work with that they put those emotions with me because they can't take those emotions back out there. They'll hurt someone. They'll bleed over everyone.
Yeah, yeah.
And there's no pastoral care or there's no HR or relationship therapist or coach or however that can mend what that feels like. Because I'm going to tell you something. When I'm hurting, I don't want to hear nothing about forgiveness. When I'm in pain, I don't want to hear about forgiveness. I don't want to hear about turn the other cheek. I want somebody to help me figure out how to make that thing stop.
Yeah.
And it becomes real. So I had to start journaling. And I'm gonna tell you all honesty, I'm gonna call her out. I totally jacked her name up earlier, and I'm gonna just say Dr. P like I always do. Like I had she was my therapist.
Yeah.
I had other teachers and stuff showing up for me, which we'll talk about in a minute.
Yeah.
I had to figure out tools to get all that stuff up off of me so that when I showed up the next time, I had space to still be of service.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, at the time, I was going through issues in my marriage. I was going through issues at my job. So in service, believe it or not, that's where I found peace. So then all of a sudden, I didn't even have peace in that. So what does that mean? And so I had to find healthy ways to purge that. All of those emotions. In chaplaincy, they call it compassion fatigue, because what starts to happen, or like an emotional bursting, because what starts to happen is you start snapping.
Yeah. Yep.
They'd be like, hello, can I speak to Reverend? You'd be like, what?
Right. But this is true.
you start having a bad day spiritually.
Yes. Oh my God. This is so good, Renee.
I'm just being real. Like,
This is good. This is good.
then what becomes? So I say to people, let's figure out how to get all that off of you. So one of my mentors, Abiola, she used to have me purge every morning
Mm-hmm.
for 40 minutes. I would have a journal and I'll just write. It
Yeah.
didn't have to make sense. I wasn't to go back to read it and try to, manipulate it. I was just supposed to almost like throw up on paper.
Yeah. Yeah.
Every day for 30 days, I did that. And some mornings I woke up, I didn't even know what I was throwing up, but I did it.
Mm-hmm.
Until one day I was like, oh, okay, all right. But I had to find a healthy way
Yes.
of getting rid of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because we're good at finding unhealthy ways to do things.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All
The
you got to
unhealthy
have,
way is the quickest way. It's the easiest way. See, we don't
or the
have to.
drunk way.
Oh, the way. Listen, the drunk way, the highway, the sex way. Listen, all of that stuff is so easy. It's easy. We don't got to put much work in
No.
to do it the unhealthy way. And I'm not saying I'm not saying you cannot drink and you can't smoke if that's what. Listen,
Right.
that's what you do. That's
No,
what you
we're not
do,
even saying
and that
that,
you
but I'm
can't
saying,
right. But when you begin to find things to self medicate, to numb, right? You are not. It's just like when you have a cold and you take medicine, you take an over the counter medicine for your cold. It doesn't get rid of your cold. It just dampens the symptoms so that you can get through your day, that you can sleep. Listen, all it does, it you know what I'm saying? It stops the symptoms from being so overbearing that you can't function. That's what the cold medicine does.
right.
So when we engage in unhealth and practices that we know are unhealthy for us, right? So it might be eating, and I'll say drinking, smoking, sex, all of that. When we do that, we are not doing the inner. We're not really doing the inner work. We are not tapping into why. Tapping into the why and doing what we need to do to actually facilitate our own healing. We just numbing it,
Right.
and we
Right.
still angry, and we still bitter, and we still struggle with unforgiveness, right? We still showing up in a way that other people don't even want to be around us because that stuff comes out of us whether we want it to or not. So yes, Renee, find healthy ways, right? And I always tell young adults to, have you written? Because
I have.
what writing does, it takes it out of you. You got to dump it. If
You got it done.
we don't find a healthy place to dump it, we begin to dump on other people, bleed on other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
We can't. So dumping it, so purging, we write it out. It becomes something tangible that we can do something with it, right? Sometimes all of these emotions are so jumbled up and on the inside of us, we don't know how to how to separate them. We don't know how to treat each one. But when we write, it takes it from here. It puts it
Right.
on a piece of paper. We can rip it up. We can burn it. We can crumble it up. We can do so. It can become something tangible that we can do something with, right? And get therapy.
Right.
Writing is a therapy, right? You can do writing therapy. The paper won't judge you. The pen won't judge you. It won't talk back to you, right? You might be surprised at what you see. If you read it, you'll be surprised. But do the inner work. Stop taking medicine to numb the symptoms and do your inner work.
Well, we have a question from Chino. Hey, Chino.
Hey, Gina.
At what point do you own and answer to the hurt you project on others when you are purging your emotions? Would you and will you utilize your network to reach out to find and heal a hurt situation? Just
Mm,
thoughts.
yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
I think that's in one of our points. That answers probably one of our points right now.
Right.
Yeah.
there's a point, and it kind of, Chino's comment fits right in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Number 4, have a good pit crew, have a good support system.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, and not just, oh God, not just to get on your side.
Come. We talk about the yes people.
Don't get the support. I always say yes men could be your death men. Like, there is your network should be able to tell you straight up, that was like that.
Right. Right. And you're not get offended, but you can get in your feelings, but it'll go away. Like you right. I want people in my life that's gonna check me. I want people that's gonna check me. I want people to tell me, I want, people that say that they love me to tell me when I'm wrong. How am I going to do better? We do have blind spots. We do have places in our lives that we cannot see how we're showing up. And I want somebody to tell me, all right, Sue, And yeah, I'm gonna get mad because it's, who wants to hear something bad about themselves? So I'm gonna feel some kind of way. I'm gonna get in my feelings. But you know what it does? It makes me look inward. And I have to sit with it. And I'm like, you know what? Let me, we do have to consider the source, right? When we get constructive criticism, that's a totally different thing. We have to consider the source. But people that genuinely love you, should be able to tell you the truth about yourself, which would kind of spark some type of, introspection.
Especially if I'm the reason that I got hurt.
Wow.
If I did something, because I'm not going to sit here and make it seem like I've always been perfect. If I did something that caused a consequence that made someone show up for me, and now I'm hurt, I expect my friends to go, oh, you did that shit. You did that.
Right. You did that.
You did that. You want to worry about why everybody don't speak to you? Because you nasty. You did that.
You're honoring.
Yes. God, I heard that word. So yeah, you're honoring. Like you did that. And so and I'm glad Chino brought up that point, because I want to go back to the purge exercise that we talked about. When I used to have to write out my stuff, because I might have been mad at my ex, but I had to write about some of the stuff that I did that triggered what my ex did. Yeah, there are certain people that I always tell people, y'all like Renier now. Y'all like the Pink Love Special. Y'all like me now, but I was not always a nice person. I was not always a nice person. And at the end of the day, some of that karma swung its way back. And I had to be real about that. And sometimes I'm still not a nice person, especially if I feel that I've gotten to here with something. Oh, I can be so I own that. But I had to write that out. I didn't leave that part out of the story. Even when I told the story, I didn't leave that part out, because I wanted my circle, my friends, my support system to be like, yeah, that was kind of jacked up. Like, how do people help you if you lie about what happened?
Okay, ask the question again, Jesus Lord. If
you got everybody thinking somebody wronged you, or you got everybody thinking that somebody did something to you, then how do your friends help you to be a little bit of a bigger person, or to learn like how to heal some flaws and some stuff inside of you? So when you're doing your journal work, when you're talking to your therapist, your coach, your counselor, your advisor, let me help you with something. Tell the whole story.
Tell the truth.
That you can get the healing that you need on both sides, as the person agitated and the person doing the agitation.
Wow.
Which brings us to the last point. The last point number 5, be spiritual.
Yes.
And we're going to talk about what that means. Be spiritual. You're like, yo, you just had this whole conversation, and now you're talking about that I have to be spiritual, but I'm going to pull up something. Let me see if this is it. Nope, that's not it. Here we go.
That's the other one.
The notion you have to be nice to be seen as spiritual. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to put a person in their place. I meant to blank that out, but I didn't. So, oops. Respecting your boundaries is spiritual.
Yes.
Not being taken advantage of is spiritual. Allowing yourself to feel anger is spiritual. And again, I apologize for the B word, but I missed it. So it must have been, sorry.
Listen, that's a language some people understand. So they need to see it just like that.
Right. So, yes, you can put boundaries in place. You can respect your space. You can honor the truth of who you are and ask people to show up in a way that is respectful to you and still be spiritual.
Yes.
We need to teach that because we don't teach that. We don't teach diplomacy of conflict.
This is good.
We don't teach that. We just teach you just need to forgive. We don't teach people how to mediate in a healthy way where everybody walks away respectful. I've done counseling sessions, well, not counseling, I'm not a counselor, a coaching session for couples that are ending it. I've done it. I've been a mediator for couples that are ending it. So as they end it, they can, I tell people all the time, you can end things in love.
Yes, you can. Yes, you can.
You can quit a job respectfully. You can leave a ministry respectfully. You can close the door quietly and play some music and hum on the way out and say bless you and keep on moving. You don't have to rah-rah. But sometimes if you have to rah-rah.
Sometimes people just got to understand. Sometimes, listen, it's okay to rah-rah.
Right. If you summons it, then I'm going to serve you it. But know that I've warned you a number of times before we got there. Freddie said it. We teach turn the other cheek. Forgive, even if that means you end up broken. That's not smart. It's not wise, and it's not spiritual. I don't think God ever intended that.
I agree. I agree, Freddie.
Yeah. If and maybe this needs to be a second part of this conversation that we have. You know, when forgiveness breaks you.
Wow.
What does that look like?
What does that look like?
I'm forgiving you, but I'm fucked up. I'm feeling away. I'm hurt. I'm embarrassed. I'm devastated. I'm disappointed.
Yeah. And you know, so we definitely have to have like a whole conversation around forgiveness. Because I think sometimes people feel that
I think so.
Because you've chosen to forgive, that now I got to still deal with you. Now I still have to accept what you're dishing out.
Well, hold on. Before we go, I want to note something. I want to note something because Therese, the ratings just said true forgiveness will not break you. And she's right. She's right. True forgiveness doesn't break you. When you have really given that thing away and you've got healing here and you can forgive them and say, listen, I love you. Or you know what? I don't particularly care for you, but I don't have no ill will towards you.
Yeah, I want to see you get
when you get to
by
that
truck
point,
or nothing.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't. It doesn't. Right. If you walk past me, you know, I might still, you know, let you know that there's a something speeding towards you, or to duck, or get down, or to run.
Right.
Like true forgiveness won't have you at home devastated. But when you forgive from this place of, I have to forgive because that's the only way I can survive.
Mm-hmm.
Without doing the work that releases you from the pain,
Yeah.
you have bitter forgiveness. It becomes resentment.
Come on. Yep.
It's not forgiveness.
Yeah.
When you are forced to forgive because it's the only way that you're forced to forgive because that's what you're supposed to do, not because that's what you want to do, not because that's been what you've been healed to do. You're only forgiving them simply because you feel like you have to.
Ooh, what you've been healed to do. We are taught to forgive quickly. Yes. Some of us can really forgive quickly, right? But some of us need to heal before we get to the place where we won't feel the pain every time we happen to be in your presence, right? When we can talk about it and not cry, right? We need to get to that place of healing before we can that's good. That's
so
good.
I think that should be our next conversation.
Yeah.
And I see Fern has come and shared a couple. She said, I can forgive you, but not be healed from the effects of the trauma. And that's why I think we need our next conversation needs to be around the conversation of forgiveness and how to function inside of that forgiveness when you're not healed from that trauma. Because that looks different.
Right.
Forgiveness, and this is just my opinion. Remember, this show is just about our opinion, and this is how it shows up. These are the conversations. Thank you, Badori. I release you. That's it. These are the conversations that you and I have behind closed doors, and that's what made us start these conversations. So we may say something that, someone is like, oh, I don't get down, I don't agree with you, and that's great. Because we welcome that, because we recognize we are not the authority on what that looks like.
Right.
Just the same, I am thankful that we are not the authority on what that looks like, because every situation different, how everything shows up is different. And so we're going to get ready to close. And again, please, as you share this, hey B, as you share this, let people know to follow the Walking Heavy page. So that they can join the conversation. Walking Heavy, it's the Walking Heavy show on Facebook. I also, for those that don't have Facebook, I'm also broadcasting live to Renair Amen on YouTube. You can join us. This conversation is every Friday at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm so grateful for everyone that joined us today to talk about when serving sucks. Please engage us on the page. Share your thoughts.
Definitely.
Also, I think next week, we're going to finish the forgiveness conversation, and then the following week we're going to do what we talked about the other day. But next week we're going to talk about forgiveness.
Yes. Freddie, we're not going 2 hours.
Not 2 hours. You got us at an hour and 32 minutes. But thank you all. Thank you all. We appreciate you. We love you. Share our time together. Share our page. And please join us next week as we talk about forgiveness right here. And Sue, do you have anything to add before we get ready to close?
No, that's it. Thank you, everyone. Again, just just kind of piggybacking of some of the things that Renair has already said. We are so grateful that you choose to come and hang out with us during this time, and we will be coming at 4:30 on Fridays for as long as
quarantine to do so. Then we gotta find a night that works.
Then we gotta find a day or a time that works for most people. But we are also, if you missed this broadcast, please share it. It's still on Facebook, so you can share it and have somebody. Have your friends and your family join in on the conversation. You can still type on, underneath, and we will see your comments, right? And again, if you have a certain topic or topics that you want us to kind of talk about, feel free to post them. Feel free to post them. But thank you so much. Thank you for your support and your love and your encouragement. Walking Heavy would not be what Walking Heavy is without all of you. So.
Yes, and I see you, Ursula. Hey, and
Hey,
thank you, Sean, everyone that has joined us today. And until we meet again, keep on
keep on
walking.
walking. Peace out.
Take care.